Welcome to Intuitive Seek. My name is Mary Treen, and every week I aim to bring you a grounded approach to all things intuition. Through personal stories, experiences, and practices, offering energetic reflections to help you discover, connect, and fully realize how your unique power of intuition is your own greatest teacher. Hello everyone, and welcome. Welcome to this episode of Intuitive Seek. How is everybody doing? How are you doing today? I feel like for me, today, and whenever you're hearing this, maybe this will help you too, but today I'm feeling like it is a very high shoulder day. And by that, I mean my shoulders today, I've noticed that they are creeping up that I'm not super aware of in the moment. And then I kind of feel my shoulders basically at my ears. And I have to roll them back and kind of sit up a little bit more straight or stand a little bit more straight. And I'm not sure if you have felt this a lot, but we can carry so much stress and pressure that we put on ourselves and maybe that other people are putting on us. And we can also feel so much of our emotional stress in our shoulders. And if I kind of think of it in an emotional body way, like I've spoken about before, how our intuition can really speak to us in so many different ways. And many times, especially for women, I found that our emotional body, when we're not paying attention to the stress that it's holding, it will speak to us in tension and pain and discomfort and, knots or as a seizing, kind of a frozenness that can happen, like a frozen feeling that can happen because we are meant to pay attention to it. It's something that is really calling out to us. And so often in my past, before I really understood this and was working in it, I would pay zero attention to the emotional kind of spirit component of our physical body. Because there's our physical body, which is very important and does a lot of work, but it's not separate from our spirit and our emotional body. It's not separate at all. And maybe it's when we feel like it is separate, or maybe feel like the emotional body doesn't really even exist. Like when we're telling ourselves, oh, we're being too sensitive or overreacting or, oh, I'm hormonal, like trying to find excuses for why your body is feeling a certain way. And this isn't new. There's a reason that there's the saying, he's such a pain in my neck or she's such a pain in my neck. Because emotional reactions can cause literal pains in our neck, giving us pain in our neck from this stress of annoying or really frustrating people. But if you're anything like me, it can be very, very challenging to offer ourselves that compassion to really take seriously any of these pains or tensions that we hold and carry. And sometimes we can even make it part of, like some would say, part of our story. That all of a sudden in our life, we're not really sure why, but yeah, my neck always kind of hurts, or my left shoulder is always a little bit sore, or, my right knee, it kind of clicks and I always get a little bit of a pain in it, but there's no physical reason. So don't worry about it. It's just my body. But the cool part of, oh my God, no, it's not just the body. I mean, one of the best parts about having physical pain or tension, and this is not chronic pain, not like a fibromyalgia or with Lyme disease, like when there is a physical cause, for sure. I mean, our physical body, there is pain that is created by something that is wrong in our physical body, completely. But if you know that there's nothing physically kind of wrong with you, and there's no real reason medically of why you have this tension or pain, then that is a good thing, because that means that, from my experience, what you are able to do then is really connect to why you're carrying that, what it's trying to tell you, what it's reminding you that you are not paying attention to, or maybe something that needs to be resolved. It really makes me think of kids and how they can have those stomach aches that people think that they're faking, that they are just trying to get out of school or, want to stay home. But I feel like that is actually because kids are so in tune with what is right for them. And if something isn't right in their lives, I feel like it really manifests in their stomach. And I'm not a parent, but I'm sure if you have kids, you can really relate to this, that you know that something is wrong, but they don't know. All they know is that their stomach hurts. And even if you aren't a parent, can you remember when you were a kid and maybe there was a bully or even just like a small fight between your friends and it would make your stomach hurt? Like, I know that happened to me for sure, or definitely, say for sure a lot. That happened to me definitely. And our digestion, like that's a pretty common thing to have, an upset stomach based on stress, that your digestion can, get very erratic and cause some problems. That is such a common thing. I feel like that is very much accepted as, oh, yeah, for sure. Our emotions can definitely affect our bowels, pretty much. But yeah, it can affect our stomach. It can affect our bodies. But it really also manifests as pain and tension and held within our body in places that we maybe aren't putting together that, oh, that's actually some stress. Like my shoulders being kind of sore and tensed up, or that kind of depth of kind of ache in your lower back, or a crook in your neck where, you can't really turn your neck. If there's no physical reason that you know of medically, and it's just, oh, that is just something I have, really worth tuning into yourself and trying to uncover what that pain or tension is trying to tell you. It's something that I help many clients with, because a way to say it is that our emotions, carry an energetic charge. And that energetic charge can kind of cause a little bit of havoc in our physical bodies. I've seen it and felt it over and over again. So it is definitely something that exists from my eyes and from what I've seen in myself and in my clients. And it's something, especially as women, like I said, that we don't really pay attention to as much. And sometimes it might not even be ours, especially if you are a nurturer or in that kind of role in your life, whether it's at work or at home, or if you have some, empathetic, empathic traits that you see in yourself, you can really carry somebody else's burden, and you can feel that physically in your body. It's something that I've experienced, and it might sound a little kind of odd, but it's not really, because again, it's your emotional reaction to caring for that person, wanting to help them, but doing it in a way that is not serving you, because then you're holding on to their pain, really. And then that's causing pain in your body. It's like that book that it's Healing Back Pain. It was written by this doctor who was really explaining to the masses about the mind-body connection between your kind of stress and your emotions and your back pain. But it's not just your back. How could it just be your back? Your back is part of your body. It's not separate. But the back makes the most sense, I feel, because it is a common pain that everybody can relate to. You know, at one point, if you're an adult, at one point in your life, yeah, I'm sure you've had back pain. And so it's kind of the easiest thing to focus on. But I remember with that book, a lot of people kind of described it as, oh, the pain isn't real. It's all in your head. Like that was how the book was received in my memory. And that's kind of a normal thing or a normal reaction with anything to do with emotions or really anything that you can't physically see. Like if your leg isn't broken, then nothing is wrong with you. You know, people, we want to see to believe it. And it's really difficult to see that our invisible stress and our invisible emotional reactions to things that maybe we haven't thought about in a while or didn't realize that we didn't have closure on, like not huge traumas, but these are little things that in our lives are big because they're ours and something that we've gone through. But it's so easy for us to give it no mind because, oh, well, it's not real. It's just in my mind. And then you really don't trust your mind. And then you start to not trust how you're feeling. Because if you don't have a medical reason and you're told, oh, well, it's emotional, so, oh, it must be all in your mind, then there's such a disconnect between your experience and what you're going through. So by paying attention to those pains and little signals in our body, we can really get to know ourselves better. And I mean, ideally relieve that pressure, pain, and that tension by giving eyes to whatever is creating that pain, whatever's underneath it. Because there is usually something there. And if you are dealing with I guess some people call it a phantom pain, if you're dealing with something like that, and I say, well, there's probably something underneath that that's wanting you to pay attention to it. Can you think of that thing right away, even though maybe you brush it off or don't give it any kind of legitimacy? We kind of already know, because that's our birthright of intuition. It's there for us if we want to look at it and pay attention to it. But we have to kind of open that door. It's not going to just hit us in the face with the information. We have to go looking for it. It's like a treasure hunt that starts off with not the greatest clue, because it's going to be some kind of tension or pain or discomfort in our body. But then the more that we pay attention to it and really connect to the guidance that we have to trust and then follow, ideally the treasure will be, oh, that knot in my back kind of released, or, my knee isn't in so much pain anymore. And then maybe also you'll receive that gift of awareness that, oh, you didn't realize that you were holding on to responsibility for somebody else's problems, as kind of an example. But it is really remarkable how much our body holds. And it is something that I speak about often on this podcast, right? But this week I really felt it because I experienced it again for me. So I have today this tension in my shoulder. And why not? Why don't I tune into it myself with my own intuition, and then we'll use it as kind of a test subject. I will allow my shoulder to offer you some insight into how you can do this for yourself. And it might be kind of fun to do together. So when I tune into my shoulder, I have a little bit of a kind of a spark of a quick pain when I breathe in. But then everywhere else, like it's not bringing pain to any other part of my body. And I know that I didn't really do anything to my shoulder differently. Maybe I slept on it wrong, or maybe it's trying to tell me something that I need to pay attention to. So I have this little bit of pain when I breathe in, and then I realize, oh, okay, now it's actually pretty close to behind my heart. And I have this kind of, well, it's hard to say. When I breathe into it, now I'm starting to feel my heart a little bit more. So my intuition is telling me, okay, maybe this has to do with something kind of more heart-centered. Because immediately I just have to trust where my mind is following that guidance. So, okay, maybe it has something to do with trust. So trusting something to do with my heart. And then I'm breathing in and I'm feeling, Okay, so actually the pain is not really pain. It's more of a tension, a pressure. And now I'm feeling, oh, okay, I have been working on quite a few projects that I really love, that are creatively fulfilling for me, that I put a lot of my heart into. And I have been putting a lot of pressure on myself to complete them. So I've been feeling this weight on my shoulders of this work that I love, but am probably putting a little too much control, but I'm putting a little bit too much on it. Too much focus, too much importance. So then I have to decide, okay, what do I need? If I'm putting too much stress or importance on this, what does my shoulder maybe need from me? And you can talk to your body like that. Instead of asking, what are your needs today? You can focus in on the part of your body that is trying to get your attention, where that tension is. Let's go with it. So just go with me on it. I'm going to ask my shoulder and kind of feel, okay, what do I need to not put so much pressure that I didn't even really notice that I was putting on myself until right now? And what's coming to me is that I need to focus on one project because I have kind of a busy schedule, and focusing on all of them at once is not helpful for me right now. It's giving me too much stress. And so I'm going to do that. And after I record this, I'm going to write down all the projects that I'm working on, and I'm going to look at them and choose the one that I want to work on the most. And then I will just allow the other ones to wait. And then I breathe in. Now the pain and tension, it's not gone, but there's a relief. I can feel kind of a calm in my muscles and in my shoulders. And that's how I know that, okay, that was what it was. And that's a snapshot of how you can start to go on that treasure hunt of, oh, my body is trying to tell me something. What is it trying to tell me? And in sessions in my work, that is a big part of it, is that we kind of investigate together. But the beauty of it is I get to use my intuition to help my client. So instead of only giving me guidance, it offers me guidance for my client too. And for my clients, that's when I introduce my Reiki techniques, and that helps to promote and encourage the relaxation of the nervous system and reduction in stress throughout the body and the mind, what I've found, and really encourages that wholeness so that there isn't spots of tension and discomfort, so that your whole body starts to listen and talk and work with itself in the best way that it can. And that's what I find the Reiki really does. It's not necessarily a clearing, it's truly supporting, because when we investigate in ourselves what that discomfort is and what kind of needs integrating or healing, then that Reiki is there to support. And it has helped me so much, and I've seen the benefits hugely in my clients. So it's pretty amazing. But that investigative part is huge. So I'm definitely 100% after recording this, I'm going to offer myself some Reiki as well to kind of continue that support for my shoulder. And I'm really thankful that it was feeling a little bit of discomfort, because I wasn't aware that I was spreading myself a little bit too thin. Wow. And that is actually one of the most interesting parts of quitting a job and career that was not working for me and was not a good fit and not aligned. And now I'm doing all of these different things surrounding my healing practice and a lot of creative projects that I really love to work on. And so it's hard for me to really know when I'm maybe spreading myself a little bit too thin or putting too much pressure on myself to get them finished, because I enjoy it. And that is a crazy blessing, and I feel so grateful for. And it's amazing how much can change when we finally discover what we want. When we discover that purpose. And you can only discover it when this is going to sound funny, but it's true. You can only discover it when you're relaxed, when you're truly relaxed, because otherwise it's hidden by all of that tension and frustration and grief and all of the things, the countless things that bury what we know that we need and that we want. And that's why I love supporting people to find it, to find that deep calm and relaxation in themselves so that they can really listen to what their body is telling them. Because many times they're actually telling them what they should be doing, what their purpose is. I don't tell them, but they're actually able to hear it, sometimes for the first time. And it's amazing. But you can really start at home. You can try out the exercise that I showed you in this episode about really listening and following where your mind goes when you are tuning in to and bringing awareness to where that tension or discomfort or slight pain is in your body, and just follow it and trust it. Because that thing that you are meant to do that lights you up and gives you joy and that makes you feel so fulfilled, where you don't have to wonder what your purpose is because you're living it, all of that wisdom, that information is waiting for you to find it. It's just like in The Wizard of Oz, where Glinda the Good Witch, she says, "You've always had the power, my dear. You just had to learn it for yourself." And that's really what connecting to your intuition and committing to kind of healing and integrating every part of you so that you feel free to fully be yourself. That's learning that you had the power all along. Well, thank you for listening to this kind of experiential, more fun episode of Intuitive Seek. Please reach out to me with any questions, or if you want to share anything that might have come up for you during this episode, or if you try to kind of tune into any discomfort in your body. I'd love to hear about it. And remember, always check with your medical professionals. This is a holistic, alternative way to look at discomfort in your body when all other things are kind of off the table and have been already investigated by a doctor. And you can follow and message me also on my Instagram at Treenlight, TREENLIGHT. Or you can check out my website as well, treenlight.com, where you can learn more about my work and how I can support you. And you can also connect with me there. You can send me a message. And if you feel called to leave a review on iTunes, they really love 5 stars because that's all they care about. And it helps so many people find this podcast. That would be very generous of you to support. I am so grateful for all of the kind words from listeners that have reached out. So thank you again for taking the time to listen. Be kind to yourself, and I'll talk to you next week.